feel like Puffy owe you?
Yeah, he should. I think he should look out. He look out for everybody else. You know what I'm saying?
The recent apprehension of Keefe D has sent shockwaves throughout the entire industry. With each new revelation, the case has grown increasingly intricate, leaving both the public and investigators bewildered. Now, there are whispers that several artists associated with the Bad Boy label may come forward to shed light on Diddy's purported connection to the Tupac case.
Diddy made a lot of people mad and upset. And he may be losing some of his power.
Many are left pondering why these artists are now reportedly willing to testify, potentially placing Diddy in significant jeopardy. Over the years, since Diddy founded the Bad Boy record label, he seems to have developed a knack for turning his once loyal artists into adversaries. The motives behind their willingness to potentially harm him are numerous and compelling.
He took me to Puff, they went to Howard together. You know, like if I'd have knew Puff at that, if I'd have knew it would have gone down to all this, I should have knew better.
Speculation is rife, with some suggesting that it could be connected to the reported news of Suge Knight's intent to testify against Keefe D. This turn of events could potentially cast Diddy as the prime suspect. Reportedly, Suge Knight, the former music mogul and an eyewitness to Tupac Shakur's M, has recently broken his silence regarding the arrest of Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, a significant breakthrough in the 27-year-old cold case. The repercussions of this arrest have reverberated throughout the community, leaving many curious about Suge Knight's sentiments, given his presence in the car when Tupac was fatally shot.
You know, me and Keefe D played on the same Pop Warner football team. And whatever the circumstances, if he had an involvement with anything, if he didn't have any involvement in anything.
In a recent phone call from his prison cell, the former CEO of Death Row Records, who is currently incarcerated, openly discussed his thoughts on the arrest and his potential cooperation in the trial. This revealing conversation was conducted by TMZ and provided valuable insights into Suge Knight's perspective on Keefe D's arrest and his possible role in the upcoming trial. He said, "There was only 2 people in the car and Pac's not gonna be able to tell the story. I ain't gonna tell the story." This revelation caused quite a commotion among the public, especially in light of previous claims that there were 4 individuals in the car with Tupac at the time of the shooting. When TMZ inquired about his perspective on Keefe D's arrest, Suge Knight appeared surprised by the development. He was unequivocal in expressing his lack of anticipation regarding Keefe D's arrest. He said, "Let's get one thing straight. First and foremost, me and Keefe D played on the same Pop Warner football team. And whatever circumstances, if he had an involvement with anything. If he didn't have an involvement with anything, I wouldn't wish somebody going to prison on my worst enemy." According to the district attorney, Keefe D was purportedly in the car with his nephew Orlando during the tragic K, with his nephew being considered the alleged shooter of Tupac. However, Suge Knight's account differs significantly from his narrative. He insists that there were only 2 individuals in the car on that fateful night and opted not to disclose additional details about the incident.
It was done with the full knowledge of Keefe. Do they have it right?
It was only 2 people in the car. And Pac not going to tell the story, I ain't going to tell the story.
Furthermore, it is also being reported that Suge is not ready to testify. When questioned further about his reluctance to testify, Knight elaborated on his stance, emphasizing that he would never willingly take the stand against anyone, regardless of their involvement, because he wouldn't wish a prison sentence on even his worst adversary. He firmly asserted his commitment to not divulging any information regarding the incident, thereby indirectly distancing himself from Keefe D's statements and the ongoing developments in the case.
If you are called to testify in this case,
I wouldn't be.
Why not?
Because I'm not going to get on the stand and testify on somebody for what?
Suge Knight's choice to refrain from testifying and his enigmatic remarks concerning Tupac's shooter have added an extra layer of complexity to this enduring mystery. Many have attempted to decipher the significance of Knight's words, yet it is clear that he is determined to maintain his silence regarding the events that transpired on that fateful night. According to him, "I'm not going to get on the stand and testify, 1000% I wouldn't go." He said, "I wouldn't testify, none of that S. At the end of the day, free Keefe D. Diddy. All things considered, Knight's decision to abstain from testifying or cooperating doesn't come as a shock, with his expected release set for 2034, approximately 11 years down the road. Safeguarding his reputation within the prison system becomes a paramount concern. Getting involved as a witness or cooperating in any way could potentially complicate his standing among fellow inmates. Given that he still has a substantial portion of his sentence ahead of him, it seems he's making a conscious choice to prioritize his long-term situation behind bars over any involvement in this high-profile case.
Who shot Tupac?
It wasn't Anderson, so that's all I got to say about that part.
To summarize, you are saying Orlando was not the shooter, although you won't say who the shooter was.
Well, where there are speculations that he is protecting his reputation, there are also some rumors that if he will not testify against Keefe, it will cause trouble for Diddy, because Suge is also not ready to accept that Orlando is involved in Tupac's M. He said, "But I can tell you this, I never had anything bad to say about Orlando because he wasn't the S. It wasn't Anderson. So that's all I got to say about that part." Knight's remarks resonate with those of a witness who testified in the weeks preceding Keefe D's arrest, asserting that Orlando Anderson was not the guy. According to this witness, during their testimony before a Las Vegas grand jury, it was DeAndre Big Dre Smith who allegedly fired the shots at Tupac. Smith was reportedly seated in the backseat of the car when the incident occurred. Detectives believe that Anderson occupied the seat next to him while Keefe D and another individual named Terrence Brown were seated in the front of the vehicle.
Keefe D, the driver, is a guy named Terrence Brown. They call him Bubble Up. Behind the driver is DeAndre Smith. He's in the left rear passenger seat.
Keefe D stands as the sole surviving suspect in this case. Allegedly, he masterminded the attack as an act of retribution against Tupac, who, along with his entourage, had confronted and assaulted Anderson in the lobby of the MGM Grand in Las Vegas on the night of September 7, 1996. Hours later, at the intersection of East Flamingo Road and Koval Lane, a vehicle pulled up alongside Tupac Shakur and Suge Knight's BMW sedan, and a barrage of bullets was unleashed. The rapper, known for All Eyes on Me, sustained 4 gunshot wounds while his label boss was hit in the head by a fragment of a bullet. However, Suge Knight's decision not to testify is fueling speculation among the public, with many now considering Diddy as a prominent remaining suspect. Tupac had previously alluded to Diddy's knowledge of another shooting, suggesting that Diddy might have been allegedly connected to Tupac's M as well. This development adds to the intrigue surrounding the case.
Suge Knight was promoting and Puffy wanted half the door, and so there was just it started out as kind of just a money beef.
Diddy's extensive list of enemies appears to be placing him in significant jeopardy, as they appear ready to testify against him based on these speculations. The first individual reportedly willing to testify is Wack 100, a prominent hip-hop manager who has recently garnered substantial negative attention for controversial statements he made. Wack 100 is an American music record executive with a strong presence in the hip-hop industry, overseeing numerous record labels.
You know, Bloods is outnumbered everywhere you go.
Right.
But I'm a YA baby, so I'm a firecracker, right?
Right.
So I jump up, tell them where I'm from. I'm the only one in there from the red side, right?
Despite the controversy surrounding him, he has managed to build an impressive career. While musicians and artists typically dominate headlines, Wack 100 has been making more frequent appearances in various media, shedding light on the man behind the music production. Wack 100 stirred controversy when he made a highly contentious statement regarding the tragic death of hip-hop star and rapper Nipsey Hussle. He remarked that Hussle had received the consequences he deserved. While this viewpoint might have found some agreement, it undeniably upset many devoted fans of Hussle who mourn his loss.
Nipsey's never been on a world tour. Why? He did not die an A-list artist. Let's be real. Y'all talking about he was a legend. If he was a legend, why y'all didn't treat him like that while he was here?
Wack 100 is no stranger to criticism for his outspoken nature, but that hasn't deterred him from freely sharing his opinions and providing explanations for his statements. Regarding his comments about Nipsey Hussle, he straightforwardly expressed the view that Hussle, despite his unfortunate passing, hadn't achieved legendary status. Wack 100's rationale behind this stance centered on the fact that Hussle had only released 1 album and hadn't produced the extensive body of work typically associated with artists defined as legends. He said, "He wasn't. What's a legend? Define a legend. Let's keep it real. If Dr. Dre died right now, we'd say we lost a legend, right? Based upon what? Numbers, right? Body of work, right? How many albums did Nipsey drop? One album, right? This not no personal. This is real S. While he did issue an apology at one point, Wack 100 remains resolute in standing by his words, maintaining that his perspective on what constitutes a musical legend remains unchanged. And now it seems like he has again used this particular power. It appears that Keefe D's recent arrest has also prompted Wack 100 to openly discuss the potential ramifications of this development, particularly in relation to Diddy. Wack 100 has not held back in expressing his views on the matter.
Keefe D did what?
He cooperated and cooperated.
He told him what he did, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Keefe D is going to attempt to get up there and say,
Wack 100 has recently voiced his thoughts on the arrest of Keefe D in connection with the M of Tupac Shakur in Las Vegas. In doing so, he delved into the potential implications of this development, particularly concerning Diddy and the ongoing legal proceedings related to Tupac's tragic death. His perspective on this matter adds an interesting dimension to the ongoing discussion surrounding the case. He announced on his Instagram, Las Vegas police arrest a man on suspicion of M in 1996 drive-by-s of Tupac Shakur, AP sources say. Then he captioned the post with the following, bad boy, what you gonna do? With the music emoji, y'all know the bars. In his podcast, Wack 100 commenced by speculating about Keefe D's potential motives, raising the possibility that Keefe D might try to implicate Diddy as a means to secure his own release from jail. Nevertheless, Wack 100 also shared his skepticism regarding the effectiveness of such a strategy, pointing out that there had historically been a buffer between Diddy and Keefe D, suggesting that any attempt to link Diddy directly to the case might face challenges.
this is the only route he could take, right? Who you think they going to call for the stand?
From that point, you would call it
two officers.
You call it two officers.
Yep.
What did you give him immunity for?
As the conversation unfolded, it shifted towards the prospect of Keefe D going to trial and the likelihood of him successfully beating the charges. Wack 100 put forth the notion that Keefe D could potentially argue that he was paid to make certain statements, thereby raising doubts about the credibility of his claims. He also brought up the possibility of immunity deals, which could add complexity to the legal proceedings surrounding the case. If Keefe D goes to trial, he might argue that he was paid to say certain things. It's a risky strategy, Wack 100 explained. He's like Nino Brown from New Jack City. He said that if he goes to jail, Reggie R needs to go to jail too.
Then, listen, I put bad boy, what you gonna do with the music emoji? Y'all know the rest.
Wack 100's candid conversation offers valuable insights into the ongoing developments related to Keefe D's arrest and the potential repercussions for Diddy. Additionally, it brings attention to allegations regarding Vlad's role in the situation and the doubts surrounding the credibility of his interviews. The arrest of Keefe D has indeed triggered a flurry of inquiries about his affiliations and potential co-conspirators in the Tupac case. Shockingly, there are allegations that Eric Von Zip may have played a role in the plot. Furthermore, it has been suggested that Diddy might have paid Zip, but allegedly did not honor his commitment to Keefe D.
Puffy allegedly gave the money
I heard
to Zip.
Yes.
And Zip was supposed to give the money to Keefe.
The disclosure of these allegations have undeniably raised doubts about Diddy's past actions and associations, leaving many to ponder whether he could be implicated in the Tupac M case. Nevertheless, it's crucial to recognize that substantiating Diddy's involvement poses a substantial challenge, given the intricate nature of the case and the various uncertainties surrounding it.
But if he would have gave them the money, it'd have been a murder for hire and Puffy would be locked up.
Wack 100 has been notably vocal in responding to the ongoing developments. He previously reacted to one of Keefe D's interviews in which Keefe D made astonishing claims about DJ Quick's purported involvement in the setup of Biggie Smalls' M. Wack 100 cautioned against jumping to conclusions, hinting that Keefe D might be using such allegations as a diversionary tactic to shift the focus away from himself. Speculation is running rampant that Keefe D may have a motivation to testify, particularly because of his contentious relationship with Diddy. Some believe that they may have a long-standing feud, and there could be reasons to support Keefe D's claims of innocence. As one internet user opined, "What's crazy is KD had cancer and thought he was going to die and started doing interviews, wrote a book, and the cancer went to remission, and now his own words convicted him." Another one added, "What's sad is this investigation was as good as dead, but because he was running his soup coolers on social media, the cops had to do little to nothing to get an arrest." Another artist who is against Diddy is one of the most popular rappers, Mase. In 1999, Mase, whose real name is Mason Betha, made a significant announcement that he was departing from Bad Boy Entertainment and launching Sane Ministries. Following what he described as a profound spiritual experience, he adopted the title of Minister Mase and embarked on a new chapter in his life focused on his faith and ministry. This transition marked a significant shift in his career and personal identity. He also claimed he was, quote, leading people, friends, kids, and others down a path to hell, stating that he left to find God in his heart and follow him. In point of fact, it is said that when Mase was at the pinnacle of his career as a result of the success of his album Harlem World, he disclosed this information to a radio interviewer. "I felt like I had a lot of money, but I didn't really know who I was. I knew I had to do something other than just hip-hop. But there are others who are unsure as to why Mase left. Diddy does not allow someone to easily claim a position as a bad guy insider and get out of their contract. He had Mase signed to a deal for a significant amount of time."
These moments that are taken from you, the records, the beats, you ain't getting the money, you ain't getting the publishing.
Things never seemed to settle down between them as again Mase started criticizing Diddy even though he gave a heartwarming speech at Grammys. Diddy said, "Truth be told, hip-hop has never been respected by the Grammys. Black music has never been respected by the Grammys to the point that it should be." Many musicians related to what Diddy said, but Mase was not one of them. The rapper complained about the unjust treatment he experienced from Bad Boy's label head in an Instagram post that has since been deleted. "Your past business practices knowingly has continued purposely starved your artist and been extremely unfair to the very same artist that helped you obtain that Icon Award on the iconic Bad Boy label." Not only this, he even disclosed during an interview that he never got paid even if he was the only one behind all the Bad Boys' hit songs.
You ain't getting the respect. And I don't think you're like that.
In another shocking revelation, he reportedly exposed that Diddy was behind Kim Porter's and Tupac's M also. Mase released a new song titled Oracle 2, Standing on Bodies, and it includes blatant shots aimed at his former CEO and collaborator Sean Diddy Combs. Rapping atop a mid-tempo track powered by horns and 808s, Mase proceeds to disparage Diddy's character, pointing to his alleged misdealings as a businessman and his perceived lack of support for artists formerly under the Bad Boy umbrella. "I'm the ghost of Shine. I speak for every artist never spoke their mind, representing every artist that was left behind. From Craig Mack to G Depp, I still remember them kids trampled. For every producer you ever stole their sample," he rapped. Moreover, regarding Kim Porter, a significant portion of the public holds the belief that her demise was potentially misdiagnosed. The most disturbing thing about the case is that the first coroner was found dead after publicizing his findings about Kim Porter. The news was broken by Tuffy News TV.
"I've been told that he was the head of the snake into the investigation of the passing of Kim Porter. And not only that, y'all, he was the one who initially found something problematic."
But this was not the only information Tuffy was able to uncover thanks to his informants inside the industry. Tuffy explained that he received an email from one of his followers that explained that Kim Porter allegedly was trying to get in contact with her own doctor, but she was not able to do so, which caused her to make the biggest mistake of her life.
A shocked and devastated Diddy spotted at the home where his ex suddenly and mysteriously died.
Sources stated that after waiting in vain for the doctor to get back to her, she shared her dilemma with the father of her daughters who referred her to another doctor of his choice. And as you all know, they did not save her. But surprisingly, Kim did have an inkling of what was going on. So she allegedly sent a group text to all her close friends saying, "He got me." But the phone was confiscated by the security team brought by Diddy when he got to Kim's house after she died.
Kim was not found unresponsive in bed. She was discovered on the bathroom floor. If they found her in bed, then she was strategically placed there.
Another big star, Eminem, also criticized Diddy for his alleged involvement in Tupac's case. He released a diss track and rapped, "K-Shot, I will not fail. I'm with the doc still, but this idiot's boss pops pills and tells him he's got skills. But Kels, the day you put out a hit's the day Diddy admits that he put the hit out that got Pac K. Although the track features Eminem later admitting that he is just, quote, playin', it immediately stirred anger and controversy among some of the leading figures in the hip-hop community, and people started believing that Diddy has some dirt regarding Tupac's case. One person wrote, Diddy needs to be investigated and brought to justice. There's no way these people can fabricate all these stories. There's some truth to all this. The clock is ticking and it's just a matter of time. Now this is the one long battle between all these artists, which were wronged by their label's founder, and reportedly can also testify for his involvement in Tupac's case.